friends, it is Natalie. I am here today to bring you my February TBR, and I'm going to also be doing my unboxings for my Owlcrate and Litjoy for January. I'm going to tack that video on the end of this video. I know I'm running a little bit late. We had a stomach flu that came through and knocked all of us out like dominoes, but I definitely wanted to share with you my TBR this month. I know I don't always share my TBR, but when I'm doing a readathon, I definitely want to share it with you. And I'm doing the VaLITines readathon that is sponsored by Chaptercviii, who I'll link down in the description. Let's go ahead and get into it. I don't want this to be like a 45-minute video. Okay, so for VaLITines, for those who don't know, it's basically a bingo board, and what I've been told is you basically do what you want. If you want to read like crazy and you have no life at all, and you want to black this thing out, you can go for it. So I decided for VaLITines, I'm going to make an M. I know that's not how we play bingo, but she said do whatever you want, and I was looking at the prompts and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I was like, I'll do an M because I like the prompts that I have when I do an M, and M can stand for Mary because I am. So let's get to the books. All right, my first prompt is Old Love. It says, read an old favorite or a book that brings back fond memories. Now, some of you are going to probably think that I'm cheating, and maybe I slightly am, but hear me out before you tell me that I'm wrong. This book came in yesterday. You guys know I love the Diviners. I've been waiting for the fourth book to come out. When it showed up on my door yesterday, it was like Christmas. Now, the prompt pretty much is saying reread an old favorite, but listen to this is my technicality. It says, a book that brings back fond memories. Well, this book is bringing back fond memories of the first three books and those characters. So I know I'm getting off on a technicality, but I'm going to use it. For those of you who don't know, The Diviners is a wonderful series. It's a multi-genre. It is historical fiction because it's set in 1920s New York. It is also, I guess, magical realism / urban fantasy because there's magic involved. And it's also kind of a mystery thriller horror. Sometimes there are some scary parts in some of these books. So lots of different genres. I love multi-genre books. I'm not going to tell you what this book is about, being it's the fourth book, and that would kind of ruin the first three. But the first book starts off where our main character is Evie. She's a diviner. Diviners are people who have magical powers. Evie, for example, can touch items, and then she can sense things about people like memories, things like that. So usually, or somebody might be able to walk into somebody else's dreams. They usually just have one kind of power, and they're all called diviners. In the first book, Evie lives in a small town in the USA. She does something where other people see her, and her parents are worried, what's going to come of that. So they ship her off to New York to live with her uncle, who runs a museum that has like occult type items. And she gets to be in New York in the 1920s, which is so much fun. We got flappers, we got speakeasies. And of course, along the way, she finds other diviners, and we just begin a wonderful story with so many different subplots and plots and characters, and it's just wonderful. I highly, highly, highly recommend you pick up the Diviners Quartet, I guess is what we'll call it since it's 4 books. All right, for the next 2 prompts, I'm going to be using the same book. I have Black History Month, which obviously I need to read a book by a Black author. I also have First Date, read an author's debut. So for that, I have Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. Now, I already read it because it's February 5th. I did actually read it in February. So I definitely still wanted to put it on my TBR, even though technically I already read it. I'm just not going to tell you whether I liked it or not. But anyway, this is a story of 2 women. We have Alex, who runs a kind of a website, and she kind of has branded herself as a woman who helps other women get what they want. And she has a babysitter named Amira, who is a young Black woman who's still trying to figure out, who she is and what she wants to do with her life. And at the time, she's graduated from college and she's working as a babysitter, and I think she's doing some other odd jobs. But anyway, Alex calls Amira one evening when there's a lot of chaos going on and says, look, can you come and get Briar, which is their 2-year-old, can you come get her out of the house? I think somebody has thrown something. They've had like a prankster threw a rock in their window or something where they have to call the police, and it's just, it's chaotic. And, she's like, hey, can you come get our Briar and, get her out of the house? But it is late at night, and Amira is like, I'm kind of in my party clothes because I'm out partying with my friends. Alex is like, oh, that's fine. Please just, come get her out of the house. So she takes her to the market, and basically a security guard sees a young Black woman who is dressed in her party gear and a white toddler and assumes that this is some kind of a kidnapping. and won't let them leave the store. And obviously the mother is very upset. Well, the parents are very upset that something like that would happen in this day and age. And the story kind of takes off from there, the ramifications of what happens because of this incident. But I went into this book thinking it was basically just going to be about that, and it went so much deeper than that. I don't want to give too much away. There is a great in-depth review of this book that Dani from Current Chapter put up yesterday. I'm going to link that down in the description. Definitely check it out. I'm so excited that Dani has decided to read the books in the Reese Witherspoon Book Club this year with me. We're already talking about doing some collaborating. So I'm going to go ahead and link it down because I think she did a great job doing a review for this book, spoiler free. So definitely check that out. So such a fun age. Oh, I am so excited to tell you about the next one. Okay, the next prompt I have is That's My Type. Read a book either recommended to you or extremely in your comfort zone. Well, you guys know the only book that I've ever done a video where I'm only talking about one book is when I did the book review for Broken Girls by Simone St. James. And I have now joined the book of the month, and I saw that Simone St. James had a book that was called the Sundown Motel, and I was like, yes, yes, yes. And this is actually kind of similar to Broken Girls, and let me explain. In Broken Girls, we had 2 timelines. This one has 2 timelines. We have 2 main characters. We have Viv, who's in 1982, and we have Carly, who's in 2017. And it's in upstate New York at this motel. And just to give you an idea of what it is Viv in 1982 left home at the age of 20. She got into a horrible fight with her mother, and she was telling her mother, I'm going to New York to become an actress. And I don't know if she's really hitchhiking. Well, I guess she is hitchhiking. And she gets a ride, and she stops here and realizes, I didn't really want to go to New York and be an actress. I just said that to make my mom mad. And she ends up in this town called Fell, like F-E-L-L, which is in upstate New York, and she decides to stay there for a while to kind of figure things out, and she works the night shift at the Sundown Motel. In our current timeline, or 2017 timeline, Carly is her niece. Carly has always wondered what exactly happened and caused her aunt Viv to disappear at the age of 20. That's right, we find out right from the start that at some point, Viv is going to go missing. She went missing at the age of 20, and the last time she was seen was working at this motel. So Carly, in 2017, exact same age 20, takes off. She goes to this town of Fell. She actually even gets to stay in the same apartment that her aunt stayed in. She decides to take the night shift at the motel because she just wants to figure out, nobody in her family will talk about the case. You know, it's just like one of those things nobody talks about. And she's like, no, I want to know what happened to my aunt. It was never resolved. It was never solved. The police never figured it out. No body was ever found. I want to see if I can figure out what happened to my aunt. And so that is how this book goes. I'm about that far in. Ooh, it's good. If they ever made this into a movie, though, it would be super, super scary, like jump scares. I mean, I usually don't get scared in books. I really, really don't. But there are a couple times already in this book that I was like, whoa! Like, if I had seen that on a movie screen, I would have screamed. All right, my next prompt is Love Triangle. Read a book that is part of a trilogy. Another book that showed up on my doorstep recently was City of Stone and Silence. This is the sequel to Ship of Smoke and Steel, which I thought was going to be a duology, and I recently found out, no, it's going to be a trilogy. I was like, well, I want to read it. It's part of a trilogy. It fits the prompt. There you go. And kind of like before, when you're talking about sequels to books, it's kind of hard. You can't really say so much because then you're going to be giving away the first book. But basically in the first book, our main character is Ahsoka, who is an adept. She is somebody who can control the well of sorcery of combat, so she can really, kick behind when she's fighting. And there's this huge, crazy, magical ship that goes from port to port all over this magical world. And when it stops at a port, you have to send one of your magical adepts pretty much as a sacrifice because you don't know what's going to happen to them once they get on board this ship. You don't know if they're going to be killed. You have no idea. Nobody knows who's steering the ship. They just know that if you don't send a sacrifice, something horrible is going to happen. Like your town is going to burn down. Like horrible, horrible things are going to happen. And so Ahsoka is that lucky person who gets sent to this mysterious ship, but her government makes it even worse because they tell her, hey, once you get on board that ship, you need to figure out what's going on and you need to take control of it. And please bring that ship back to us because we're pretty sure we're about to go to war with some other land or country. And we think this ship would be really helpful. And you better do it or we're going to kill your little sister. So... City of Stone and Silence. All right, my next prompt was Library Lovers Month, so I have to read a library book, and I decided I was going to pick up another book by Lisa Jewell. I've read 2 books by her so far, and I really like the fact that she does mystery thriller, but she always has a lot of heart, and she really creates great characters. I don't know a whole lot about this. Even the synopsis doesn't tell you a whole lot other than it takes place in a very, very nice neighborhood in England where everybody is like doctors and lawyers, you know, very rich. And some kind of murder takes place in this neighborhood, and whoever the main character is, who they don't even say who the main character is in the synopsis, is trying to figure out, I guess a lot of people in this neighborhood, this rich neighborhood, have lots of secrets, and she's trying to figure out the secrets. I'm assuming the main character is a female. I'm pretty sure. And she's trying to figure out what's going on in this neighborhood full of secrets. You know, it isn't what it looks like. It looks wonderful, but it's not so great, is what I got from the synopsis. I know you're probably scratching your head going, what? I know, I'm a little confused myself, but I know it's Lisa Jewell, and she hasn't let me down yet, so hopefully she's not going to let me down with this one. Okay, our next prompt is Long Time Crush, which means read a book that you've been meaning to get to for a while, but something always gets in the way. And I have decided that it is time to read Beartown. So what held me back, honestly, from reading Beartown is that all I heard was it was about a town and its hockey team. But then when I started hearing more and more about it, I realized, oh, there's more to it. Somebody from the hockey team assaults a female, if you know what I mean. Sometimes my students come and watch my channel, so I have to be discreet. But there's a female assault that happens, and it's how the town has to deal with that, knowing, I'm assuming this is somebody who's maybe the star of the hockey team or somebody who, you know, is a big deal on the hockey team. And so when I found out it was more about that, I was like, oh, okay, that sounds really, really interesting. So it's time I find out what the big deal is about Frederick Bachman, because I hear he's so wonderful. All right, my next prompt is The Newlyweds. Read one of the most recent books added to your TBR. Well, since I had to include my Reese Witherspoon book club picks in my TBR, I can't read 15 books in a month, guys. I don't have that kind of time. This is the most recent book I got is my makeup book for the Reese Witherspoon book club review, and it's This Is How It Always Is. All I know so far is it's about a family that has 5 sons, and the youngest son feels like he is a girl, and the family, even though they are very supportive, they try to kind of keep it a secret, I guess because he's still very young, but in the synopsis it talks about, you know, he wants to be a princess, until one day their secret explodes. So I guess we're going to find out how the community is going to react knowing there's a transgender child. All right, the next prompt is Not My Type. Read a book out of your comfort zone. I know some of you might be like, I don't understand. I decided to pick a historical fiction book. And you might think, wait a minute, you read historical fiction, that's in your comfort zone. It really isn't. The historical fiction I usually read is either very hyped up, so I've already heard it's really, really great, or it's a Reese Witherspoon pick, so that, you know, I'm pretty confident it's going to be great. But as far as just picking a book that is historical fiction that nobody I know has read it, is very out of my comfort zone and not something I normally do. So I picked Lost in the Beehive. This is set in the 1960s. Our main character is Gloria. Gloria likes girls, and so her family sends her to an institution to be cured. During the struggle of having to go to an institution that's supposedly going to cure her, she does meet some amazing characters. I'm getting this all from the synopsis. I have not even read page 1 of this. So it's out of my comfort zone that it is historical fiction, that I don't know anybody else who's read it. It's also out of my comfort zone because the idea of people thinking you can cure that, I know there's going to be characters in this book that are going to make me mad. But you know what? They're stories that need to be told. They're important. And they're things I really believe in that need to be out there and people need to understand. Really quick, before we get to the next book, my father is having open heart surgery this Friday, and I know I have the greatest group of people who watch my videos, some of the nicest people. When I told you guys I was auditioning to be a resident librarian, your comments almost, some of them almost made me cry. You guys were like so supportive, like, you should definitely, you're gonna get it. I have the greatest people who watch my videos, and so if you can keep my dad in your thoughts and prayers, I really appreciate it. And I know you guys will, because you guys are so great. My next prompt is Token of Affection. Read a book that you received as a gift. Well, talking about fathers, this was a gift from my parents. Now, I don't know if my dad actually picked this out or just, said, yeah, get her the books. So I'm going to be reading for that A Constellation of Roses. From what I know, our main character is named Trix. Her mother has walked out on her and she's surviving by being a thief, but she's a very talented thief because she has some kind of magic going on. She does get caught and then she's told she has two choices. You can either go to jail or you can go live with some relatives that you've never met. And obviously she's going to go live with relatives. I'm not going to go to jail. And she really is planning, I'm going to go live with these relatives and then I'm going to run away and go do my own thing. And supposedly when she meets these relatives, she's going to meet a lot of women that she didn't know in her family. And she's going to see that some of them also have some different magical things going on. All right, the next prompt is commitment issue. Start or continue a book series. Now, this was also a gift from my parents for Christmas, or from Christmas. And I'm continuing on. I'm going to be reading Girls of Storm and Shadow, which is the sequel to Girls of Paper and Fire. In Girls of Paper and Fire, we are in a world where there are three castes. The upper caste are these, they're like demonic looking creatures with like animal qualities is the best way I could describe it. And then the lowest caste are regular human people. And then there's a middle caste, which are people that have some animal-like qualities. They're kind of like a cross between the animal demonic-looking people and regular people. That's what the middle caste is. And Girls of Paper is one of those things. It's like the Hunger Games where they make it sound fabulous. It's like, oh, you want the palace to pick you to be a girl of paper. It's so wonderful. You have the privilege. You get to go live at the castle. But really what you're doing is you're being chosen to meet the king's manly needs. I will leave it at that. So it's not really something great. And it was one of those books you either loved it or you hated it. So I'm excited to see where it goes in Girls of Storm and Shadow. All right, the next one is kind of a stretch, but stay with me. You See Me. Read a book that you feel represents you in some way. Now, when I hold this book up, you're going to go, that makes absolutely no sense. Okay, I picked Serpent and Dub, but hear me out. This is supposed to be about a witch and a witch hunter who end up having to be married due to some kind of magical act or something that goes wrong. And they're obviously a witch and a witch hunter would be opposites. Okay, are you following me? They'd be opposites. And I'm like, well, I would relate to that because my husband and I are opposites. And I'm not just saying that, like, I have scientific proof that we are opposites. You know, the personality, I think it's the Myers-Briggs personality where you get the 4 letters. I am an INFP and he is a ET something J. I can't remember all the different letters. Literally, we did not have one letter in common with the 16 different personality types. Literally, we are, so that's why I say scientifically proven, we are complete opposites. So that's why I was like, oh, well, obviously that would mean that they're kind of like opposites. Now, we didn't get married because we were tricked into it, but I know it's a stretch, but I wanted to read this book, and so I'm making it work. I'm kind of like forcing it, a puzzle piece that doesn't fit, and I'm kind of forcing it in there and saying, this works, this works. And the last prompt I have is Picture Perfect. Read a comic book, graphic novel, or picture book. Well, I think I've mentioned before, I'm not a graphic novel, comic book kind of person. I know a lot of you guys are, and that's great, but it's so not my thing. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with picture book. It's a book, obviously, I've already read. It's my favorite children's picture book. It's called Nana Upstairs, Nana Downstairs. If you have children, I highly, highly, highly recommend this. If you are a teacher for younger students, I highly, highly, highly also recommend this. This boy who had a grandmother that lived downstairs and a grandmother that lived upstairs. And basically the grandmother who lived downstairs was his grandmother, and the grandmother who lived upstairs was his great-grandmother. So she was much older and she was in bed, and the grandmother downstairs was basically taking care of her mother, as you know, we do, we take in loved ones when they're really old and they can't take care of themselves. And then it's also, this book is about the circle of life because over time, Nana upstairs passes away, and then grandma downstairs, when he's a grown man, becomes grandma upstairs, and his mother becomes grandma downstairs because he's a grown man and he has children. And the book really hit me emotionally. So I am about to go back into substitute teaching. I took a little break because I was having some medical issues, but I'm definitely in the next week or so going to be jumping back in, and I will be taking this book along with me because there's always usually an opportunity to read a book when you're a substitute teacher, and I want to share this wonderful book because it really is about the circle of life. Those are all the books for my February Valentines TBR. My next video is going to be the New Year's tag because I was tagged. I still have to make my anticipating books video. I still need to make my January wrap-up video. Those will be coming in the next week or so. It's going to be a little touch and go. Like I said, my father's having open heart surgery, so that's definitely going to affect my filming schedule. Stay tuned, and I'm gonna snap my fingers, and you are gonna go to those unboxings. Enjoy the unboxings. Hello friends, it is time for our January unboxing battle between Owlcrate and Litjoy, our first unboxing battle for 2020. All right, let's start with Litjoy this month. This is what I see when I open it up. Our theme is Starry Night. Ooh, that sounds cool. All right, the first thing I'm taking out is this wooden thing because it's different and definitely grabbing my attention to be like, what is that? Oh, this is supposed to be the Darklings trinket box from the Grishaverse. Oh, there's a little magnet that makes it stay. Ooh, I like that. It looks like something Starry Night. Let's take a closer look. Oh, I believe it's like a little headband. I like it, even though I think I kind of look like Rambo. All right, interesting. I'm still seeing moons and stars. We're definitely going with that Starry Night theme. I think it's gonna be some sort of pillowcase. What does it say? I know you guys can see it, but I can't see it. Dream up something wild and improbable. Very nice. Let's see what that is from since it's not coming to me. Oh, it is from Strange the Dreamer, which was one of the books that I did not finish, but I'm thinking about going back to after so many people have told me that I need to. Ooh, a dream catcher. Well, that is really nice. I don't have a dream catcher. That is very pretty. And this is supposed to be inspired by the Court of Nightmares, which I'm not familiar with. If you are, please let me know. All right, let's get to the actual book. It's in a beautiful green bag. I love with Litjoy that I can pull it up and you can see it before I even see it. All right, do you recognize it? It's a book that has gotten a lot of hype, or is it a book we've never heard of? It is called Woven in Moonlight Sees the Night. Well, I have to say that is a gorgeous cover. Busy, but I like it. A lush tapestry of magic, romance, and revolution, drawing inspiration from Bolivian politics and history. Wow, okay. It says, I'm going to hold it this way so you can see it. It says, Ixmina is the decoy Condessa, a stand-in for the last remaining Illustrian royal. Her people lost everything when the usurper Atok used an ancient relic to summon ghosts and drive the Illustrians from La Ciudad. Now Ixmina is motivated by her insatiable thirst for revenge and her rare ability to spin thread from moonlight. Okay, I'm not going to read you the entire thing because sometimes that will ruin the book, but never heard of this. Please let me know if you have. Very beautiful. All right, when I open up Owlcrate, this is what I see. Let's see on the top. It says Owlcrate, very cool, and it says vengeance will be mine. Oh, I have some socks from Crooked Kingdom, which isn't that the second book after Six of Crows, which is one of my goals for 2020 is to finally read Six of Crows. I have read Shadow and Bone, and I read The Ninth House, which I just finished and loved so much. So I am all about getting to some Six of Crows soon. This is the second book, I believe, and I will know more about what these socks and the meaning of the symbols are after I read it. Ooh, I've got a candle that says Reaper. It's purple, my favorite color. Let's see what it smells like. That smells so good. I'm trying to think, what does it smell like? Ooh, and it's got little glitter too. What do you smell like? Oh, mulberry, plum, and spruce. Okay, that's what I say. That was an interesting combination. I couldn't really feel what it was, but yes! Couldn't smell what it was, feel what it was, smell what it was. Very pretty. I have another Harry Potter mug. This will be my 4th Harry Potter mug. Oh, that is very exciting. All right, so I'm going to spin so you can see all the things. I believe from the Order of the Phoenix. Is that what it said? Join the Order. Yeah, so the Order of the Phoenix. It has to be. I have the first 4 books, and now I've got the 5th one. I'm so excited to add this to my collection. I'm not really sure what this is. I don't know if it's from the book or this is from something I should know. I will check the cheat sheet out in a minute and let you know. Ooh, I've got something in a little Owlcrate bag. It says, "You've got words in your soul." Oh, very cool. Oh my gosh, it's a little pill box. I actually need a little pill box because mine disappeared, and I love to have just, you know, a little bit of the medications that I take with me. You never know what might happen. So you got words in your soul. I'll look that up too because that was not coming to me either. And now down to the book. Let's see, what is the book? The book is, ooh, I haven't heard of this one either. Scavenge the Stars. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so there's a closer look. Terra Sim. I don't know if that sounds familiar or not. Let's see. When Amaya rescues a mysterious stranger from drowning, she fears her rash actions have earned her a longer sentence on the debtor ship where she's being held captive for years. Instead, the man she saved offers her unimaginable riches, a new identity, and the promise of retribution against Kamon Mercado, the powerful merchant who ruined Amaya's family and stole the life she once had. Oh, wow. Very interesting. The candle is inspired by Children of Blood and Bone, which is definitely on my TBR. I own it. I just haven't read it yet. Oh, and another book that I own and have not read yet is Nevernight. So this is from Nevernight. This is from The Hobbit, and it is meant to be another banner for you to be able to put pins on. Very cool. It says blood to bone, name to name, bone to bone, blood to bone. I will hold it up. Hopefully you can see that. Very beautiful. Oh, and really quickly before we move on, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. It's down in the description, and I will always give you a follow right back. And thank you so much for watching. I will check you guys out in the next video.